Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Can We Talk About Your WordPress Projects? This is just where we hash out all the little things that you need to think about when you're dealing with running a WordPress agency. We're always, as always, sponsored by the WP Project Managers Academy, where we'll teach you how to get your projects completed on time, within budget, with the right features, without sacrificing profit. Now, this month in our Facebook group, we are talking all about client acquisition, as apparently everyone is in every Facebook group. But it does, the first of the year does tend to bring that feeling of, is my lead acquisition strategy, is that good? Could it be improved? What about my sales process? Am I in my business like I should be? Should I be getting some help with that? All of that comes to mind this time of year. So that's what we've been talking about. And as luck would have it, my friend Kristina Romero just released a great course on getting care plan clients. Now, I know I've talked about this a couple of times in the group so far this month, but as soon as she announced this, I was like, holy crap, I went over and I signed up for it. I binge watched the whole thing over the weekend. I was like, when you binge watch something and then like the little intro music, you're like, ooh, fast forward through that. I've read that already. But no, I binge watched it. It was great because the training is really great. But what I loved more about it was all the done for you stuff you gave, the templates and stuff you give us. So, but before we go any further, not everyone knows who you are. So, Kristina, why don't you just describe or introduce yourself? And I'm going to try to find the Facebook so I can see if we're actually live. Oh, wait, we have comments. Okay. Hey, Kim. Kim's watching this live. That's great. Okay, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
For those who don't know, my name is Kristina Romero. I'm founder of WP Care Market, which is the one place for website care plans, training for website care plans, community support around it, as well as connecting care plan agencies to people businesses who need care plans. So all that. I started out as an agency owner myself. I think I formed my LLC in 2009. So that's how far back I became official. Specializing in WordPress, care plans really were introduced around, I actually remember exactly when they were introduced because my husband and I got a trip to Hawaii. So that was December of 2013. And I got to sit on the beach in Hawaii and see that month's care plans come in. And it was that feeling of like, oh, I have something so special here. So I think it was like 7 care plans. I think we started off something like that. So that was the first moment of that. So it was, kind of grew from there, and everything that I learned doing them, I taught first at WP Elevation, which is now Agency Mavericks, and then formed my own training with WP Care Market. So I started right away with getting people to see that there was profit already in their care plans by optimizing their processes, increasing their rates, getting automation in there, hiring a team so they could make more profit, not be doing the work. And then as of last year, just after doing my coaching for so many people, formulating about outreach and getting more care plans, thought, okay, I'm going to do a specific course just around outreach. And so that's what's come out this month.
So what made you decide to sell your agency?
A couple of things.
It's not exactly our topic for discussion, but I'm trying to ask you this question. So what made you decide to do that?
So I had, it was running really, really well to the point that I could tell with the training and the agency, I was totally split, that neither one was getting my full attention. And they were both suffering. So I had to kind of choose which path I wanted to go down. As far as like work, like revenue per hour, the training was offering more revenue per hour, if you look at it that way, right? The amount of work that I was putting into it versus what it was generating.
And you have little kids.
And I have little kids. And so there was this little bit of going, I built something really great and it's worth something right now, and I can pivot and do the training. And also I really love the training. I love this community. So I love being in this community, being focused on it. I also had a couple like passion projects I wanted to do as well. And so I'd been thinking about selling it for a while. When COVID hit, everything was already mapped out. I had already known my numbers and everything. I'd already been talking with John about it. And it was perfect timing. I had to homeschool my kids. And I literally did that. I sold agency and I became a teacher basically for the COVID year. And it worked out really nicely. And I've enjoyed just having the training, being here at the home with my kids and being a mom and balancing the training and doing some passion projects. So that's where it's at right now. And it worked out really well.
Yeah, I know. Like I could be spending a whole bunch more time on my agency and really beefing that up if I wanted to, but the payback I get from teaching, right? You feel like you're making a difference, right? I worked in corporate for so long, I just didn't feel like I was making a difference. And so the putting the training out there, stuff I know people need help with, that's my feeling.
I say, yeah, my first comment was about revenue, but it really was more about that, Beth. I did feel like I was making more of a difference when I teach people.
Oh no, I knew what you meant. And it's about lifestyle, because you have little kids. I'm sort of
like
easing up towards retirement.
Like I don't want people to think that. Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come across.
No, you didn't come out that way, but I wanted to clarify for myself.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, I mean, but you got to have the revenue. See, my thing about the revenue is, I mean, I'm at that age where I should be not working at all, but because I did not put enough money in my retirement account when I was working in corporate and they were matching it and all of that. Well, I was a single parent in my own defense, so I had other places I wanted to spend that money. But to have the lifestyle that I want to have now in my retirement, I need some additional income. And so I'm looking for multiple streams of income. And as luck would have it, one of those things is I just want a buttload of care plans.
Yes, exactly. And it is the best. It's the best form of revenue, only because I mean, I get people to see this. At least I hope I get people to see that it's really the best relationship you can have with your clients, because you are serving them really well. And that is also why I sold my agency, because I did feel like my attention wasn't on my clients and I really couldn't proactively help them because I was split in so many other different.
That's why I only take on 1 or 2 clients a year.
Right.
It's not right now. It's not a revenue thing, but the projects I do take so much of my attention and my time because they're usually complicated projects that I can't. It's difficult to go in both directions for sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I want to put some of that as much on autopilot as I can.
Yeah.
So then by outsourcing some of that work for the care plans and stuff, then I can just manage things. That's what I'm best at, right?
Yeah. And that's where my agency was. And I was like, this is actually the perfect time to sell because it is so clean right now. I mean, it's just great clients, predictable revenue, and it worked out. I don't think John lost any, if maybe one. I don't think he lost any of the clients in transition.
Well, I took your other training too. That's more about the basics of care plans and how to set things up and all the tools you give and everything. But I just wanted to show people, if you don't mind, I'm going to show this screen that is the outline of the course. I don't know. Can I make that bigger? Hold on a second.
You can zoom in. You can also go to the sales page. Sometimes it has a little bit more detail in it.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I was preparing for this and I thought,
that's good
to show people I'm trying to scroll on the StreamYard screen. Because the outline shows how you've laid it out, which makes really a whole lot of sense. So why don't you talk about these 4 areas that you talked about in the course?
If anyone says what is my strength? My strength is like, I want things to make sense. And that's, I think, why I've been able to teach care plans really well, because I'm obsessed about it being formulaic and it having a predictable process and it making sense. So whenever I tackle anything, I'm like, how can I make this make sense? So I basically boiled down 4 standard operating procedures for getting new care plan clients. The ones that are the most effective, really outside of this, I don't think it's that effective. Well, obviously converting from a project to a care plan is the only thing that's not included here, which is in this other sales course that's part of the care plan intensive suite. But getting referrals from your clients is one, outreaching for cold contacts, converting your past clients onto care plans, and then raising your prices on your current clients, which sometimes for people is the bucket where their client is paying like $9, So it's kind of like they're signing up for a care plan anyway. Sometimes it's that low. I've seen people with like really, really low care plans as well. But sometimes it's raising prices from $99 to like $150. So those are the 4 ways you can increase your care plan revenue, 4 streams. I did a lesson before that to kind of do all the prep work. I didn't want like a lot of the SOPs.
I really like that too. As
Yeah, a
an
lot of
as
the
an
SOPs
instructional
share.
designer, I like
Yes.
that you laid out, here's all the tools that you're going to need. Here's all the materials. Now, look at all this, go see what you need, and then go do the training. So I liked
Yes.
that.
Yeah, because they share, they overlap. And I know some people would be like, let me just go to the cold contacts one. Let me just go to, they'd skip through. And so I thought, let me
I
just
did
get all
exactly
of it.
what you said, and I went through in order, and I read, and even though I thought I'm never going to do that, I listened, and you were
Yeah.
right. I got a little nugget from each thing, even though it wasn't the main topic of what I was interested in.
Yes.
The other thing I really like, Kristina, is
My 80s theme. Do you like my 80s
these is
theme?
the materials, the full email copy, and the video training. The video training is great because it kind of walks you through each step if you can't quite get it from the materials. But the task list, the Airtable based templates. Now, I was telling you earlier, I've never used Airtable, but to hear you talk about it, to hear Kyle talk about it, I'm like, well, maybe this is where I need to go next. I'm just trying to keep my tool suite
Yes.
as small as possible.
Exactly.
And I feel like I've bought a whole bunch of stuff recently because I'm assessing a lot of tools because I'm going down a different path than I've been down before. I'm looking for the button where I turn that screen
And the
on.
Airtable there is a template, so anyone could take the same layout and duplicate it in their own software that they use. So it's just there to have something to start with. I know, like when Robert Simmons and I plan R3, I'm constantly trying to pull him back into Airtable, but he ends up doing all the work in Google Sheets, and then we take it from Google Sheets and put it into Airtable, which makes no sense at all. But he's just so comfortable in it, he can't make that jump sometimes. So
well, yeah, we forgot to
everybody.
mention that Kristina and what's Robert's last name? I forgot.
Simmons, yeah,
Robert Simmons put on the recurring revenue retreat every year, the 2 years that you've been able to have it.
Skipping COVID, yeah.
But yeah, and so, but like the first year that the recurring revenue retreat changed my life, and I know people throw that phrase around a lot, but it really did. That's where I met Cliff, I met you, I met Mike, and y'all are all helping me with my course, and teaching lessons inside my course. It really changed the way I looked at everything. And this year was really great too. I mean, totally different speakers, totally different slant. I knew a lot more people this time than I did the first time, but yeah, it was really good. So I'm glad to hear that you're continuing on with that.
Yeah, see, that's why I get so excited.
And those who don't know, Airtable is sort of like a relational database. So it's kind of like Microsoft Access on less steroids. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But it's still super powerful. It's so much more powerful than a spreadsheet, right? Because you can relate things together, and you make a change over here, it'll make a change over there, that sort of thing. And you guys know I love a Gantt chart when it comes to project management.
It has that.
So it's sort of the same concept, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what else did I want to ask you about? Well, what do you think is, of those 4 channels of getting care plan clients, which one do you think is the hardest?
Cold outreach is by far the hardest, but I keep having to include it because people keep asking for it. So care plans are based on relationship. And so when you prove yourself in a relationship like a project, it's really easy to say, hey, this is how we work. We're going to continue to, take care of your site. For someone who already has a site, especially for cold outreach, and they're not coming to you with a problem and you're coming to them and being like, you need someone to take care of your website, that's just a really hard conversation because they're like not even asking for the relationship. So typically that has to begin with some kind of other service, like you fixing problems, SEO audit.
I'm glad you said
right?
this because one of my favorite things that you said in the course is go to the farmer's market.
Go to the farmer's market.
Right? Go to these places where retail potential retail customers are anyway, and buy their shit. Buy their stuff.
You can say it that way.
Well, you never know who's watching and how easily they're.
It's true.
So
everyone's easily offended.
But if you watch Mike Killen, you can't be offended. But yeah, so I just thought that was so cool because it had dawned on me. We have a little farmer's market down the street from me on Saturday morning, and it had dawned on me to go talk to those people, but I never really thought about it in terms of care plans. Or you could even almost do like a hybrid WAS website as a service and already have something that's perfect for those folks that is not going to cost, because some of those people don't have a lot of money. Some of them do, our big farmers market, those are big farms that come out there, and they are rolling in money.
Well, and it's like our farmers market has not even farms, like there's clothing, there's, like all different types of things, like art and everything at ours.
There's crafts, there's soap, there's body scrubs, there's, just so everything you could imagine.
Right. So it's a little bit different of how you go about just, you don't have clients, or you have clients and you're not getting referrals or any of that. And you go out cold and you say, I'm going to research who's out there, and then I'm going to approach that. So that's always the hardest, because it takes the longest to build like a genuine interest and relationship with them. And like you said, buy their product, have some kind of connection. But it can work, and it does work. And usually leads to website redesign projects, not just care plans at that point.
Exactly. Well, and that's where the web audit comes in.
Yeah.
Right. And, I've been barreling through Cliff's training too.
Yeah.
Because your training and his training together is like the perfect complement for.
I tell him that. Yes.
Well, if that's the direction you want to go, if you want to really beef up your care plans, I mean, I don't have time to do a manual audit of these websites. I can just, run things through it and go, that is so messed up, I don't even want to deal with it. Or that's only partially messed up, I bet they could use my help. And then Cliff is so good about teaching you the right things to say. Right. Yeah. And so the two together, really, really good training. Okay. So guess what, guys? Kristina has been so kind and nice to give you a discount if you choose to sign up for her training. You will use the coupon code WP Roadmaps 50, and you will go to this link, wpcaremarket.com/outreach. And that's where the course is and the description and everything. Now you have bundled courses too, but this one is a standalone. Is that right?
Yes. So this is a standalone right now. Eventually I'll probably roll them together and increase the all access pass. But this is a standalone. That coupon code WP Roadmaps 50 takes off $50 of the course, which is on sale right now until the end of the month. So you have another 4 or 5 days of it already being 15% off, and then you can put Beth's code into that and get an additional $50 off. So if you're thinking about it, now is a good time, because then you can't double stack. But this is a standalone, and it's actually more of a full course. So the Care Plan Intensive course is about how to create your care plan, your processes, your automation, hiring your team, and like kind of starter sales conversation. All those 5 kind of work together. And then this is a standalone, just focusing on outreach and conversion for those 4 paths that we talked about.
Right. Okay, that's great. Because you're right. The question comes up all the time. How do I go get cold customers on a care plan? Well, I don't know, but I'm going to try. And here's what I talked on yesterday, and I keep preaching to everyone, is get up off the sofa and go out. That's where you're going to find those local clients. I was just at, I went to a line dancing class at the Moose Lodge. I mean, the Moose Lodge, really? But then I started checking them out. Okay, the local Moose Lodge has a website. Then I went to the National Moose Lodge thing. They don't give them a website. They're all different, and they're all horrible. Okay, well, that client, that social or civic club, they have needs. They need members. They need donations. They need engagement. Right. So if you can help with those things, maybe that's a niche that you go down, even though it's cold. If you go down there and have a drink on Friday night, it's not as cold. Right.
Exactly.
I got my last client in the bar.
That's exactly it. And so then the more you do that, the more that's just another person who's a client now who can refer you. And just as you build that list, it becomes a lot easier for a lot of the other forms of outreach.
But, so many of the people in our industry are not like us. If anybody doesn't know, Kristina used to be a TV actress, and I used to be on stage. And so
we don't have a problem meeting people, do we?
Sometimes it's easy to go into a sales call and kind of pretend to be someone else. I mean, not in a smarmy way, but just in a way of building your self-confidence and I am a salesperson. I'm going in here and I'm going to close this sale.
Yeah,
But so
confidence was
many of
never
our
a
people,
problem. Yeah, was
so
never a
many of our
problem.
people are shy, and
Mhm.
they don't want, they want to put any kind of automation they can in place so
Yeah.
they don't have to talk to clients. And that might work later in the process, but right now at the beginning, you've got to get out and talk to people. It's the only
Yeah.
way that you're going to find these clients and start being able to build that base that you can then use as referrals for more business.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Exactly. That's true.
Christina, thank you for taking the time. I know you got to go get your kids from school, but I do appreciate you sharing this with and letting my people know who you are, those who aren't in the premium program, haven't seen your training, so that they'll know who you are. And I hope that everyone will take advantage of that. I don't get on here and grab a bunch of affiliate links and then try to promote other people's stuff unless I've done it myself and it's really, really good. And I'm picky when it comes to training because, that's my thing. That's my jam. So I'm very judgmental, and her training is really good. And all those templates and everything she gives you in there, I can't wait to start using them. And just like my training though, y'all, it's done for you, but you're supposed to take it and make it your own. You're not supposed to copy everything verbatim. I always like to bring that up no matter when.
Yeah, no,
Thank
that's
you,
great,
Kristina.
Beth.
Hey, everybody. I will be back tomorrow talking about something related to client acquisition. I don't know exactly what, but sometimes it comes to me about noon when I, that's what I need to talk about today. And this is all in preparation for our client acquisition workshop, which is coming up on Monday. You can, anybody that's a student of the Academy can enroll to take that workshop. It's 2 hours of actually nailing down your lead acquisition strategy and your sales process. We're going to actually walk away with some stuff. And then also we've got the PM certification intensive for those who want to get some social proof really fast and get certified through the Academy. So until tomorrow, and all that stuff's in the Facebook group. Just go in there. If you're watching on the Facebook page, just ask to join the group, and all that information's in the group, and you with links to where everything is. So until I see you tomorrow, thanks again, Kristina. Stay where you are. Don't go anywhere. And you guys remember to stay productive, stay strong, and never stop learning. See you soon.